9/11. 9/11. Big 550. KTRS. Do we have Adam? Do we have Adam Richman? We're supposed to have Adam Richman. Adam Richman, the host of Man vs. Food, which is a great show. That is, now he's written a book, a cookbook, if you will. Adam Richman, are you there?
I am indeed, sir.
Good morning, Adam Richman. Thanks for joining us here in St. Louis on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's nice to be back in St. Louis, even just on the radio wave.
Your newest book is called Straight Up Tasty. Is this a cookbook?
It's a cookbook. It's a little bit of a travelogue. There's everything from the entire history of chocolate in rhyme to great places for spicy food or places for great burgers around the country to, a whole bunch of really fun, cool, and approachable recipes, I like to think.
Now, your history, you worked in the restaurant business before you became a mega TV star, right?
Well, first of all, thank you. It's super flattering. But yes, since I'm 13 years old, it's correct.
And then you went on to Yale Drama School?
That's correct. I went to Emory in Atlanta for a degree in international studies in French, and then I got my master's from Yale.
And that's where you learned to fake eating all those jalapenos on Man vs. Food.
No, actually, the guy who taught me how to really appreciate spicy food, at least one of them was the guy who taught me how to make sushi. He was Indonesian, and he taught me to, when you're eating one of those spicy peppers, to try to find the flavor beyond the heat. So, jalapeno has a lot more of, a grassy kind of flavor. Thai bird chilies are very reminiscent of, berries. Habanero has a lot of major citrus kind of component. So if you focus on the flavor, then your body and your mind can sort of get past the heat.
Wow. I don't know if I have that much concentration in me to get past the heat. Is it true, though, if you drink milk, that will sort of diffuse the hot?
It helps in your mouth, but it makes it way worse in your stomach. Because remember, there's lactic acid in milk, and it's definitely going to create a little bit of a chemistry experiment in your stomach. Generally speaking, I found bread. I found chewing some bread and spitting it out actually soaks up a lot of the capsicum and the capsaicin on your tongue, and it helps in your stomach a lot more than milk. Milk's a great immediate relief.
The book is called Straight Up Tasty. Adam Richman, you know him from Man vs. Food. He now has a cookbook out. It's called Straight Up Tasty, Meals, Memories, and Mouthfuls from My Travels. Bookstores everywhere, Amazon.com, Straight Up Tasty. So there's a couple of rumors going on around you here in St. Louis. Would you like to, make sure that they're accurate?
Let's do it.
So Crown Candy, we are big fans of Crown Candy.
Amazing. Andy Karanzif is a tremendously awesome human being.
You went and you failed.
Yes, profoundly. And the only time I had a reversal of fortune during the entire 59-episode run of Man vs. Food.
There should be a plaque on the floor where you didn't make it to the bathroom.
Well, luckily it didn't make it to the floor either, but definitely it's a lot of dairy, dude. That's a lot of dairy. That's like drinking Wisconsin.
Now the rumor is that the mistake you made at Crown Candy was that you picked different flavors. You should have kept all the same flavors. Yeah,
well, the thing is, so I agree to an extent. The one that was the bad one was coffee, because I actually quite like coffee. It's coffee ice cream. It's not my favorite flavor, but I just wanted to change it up because the thing is, in a lot of these challenges, flavor fatigue is a real thing, and you're just getting texture. You lose taste completely. So adding condiments definitely ends up helping. So the thing was, because everything at Crown Candy is made fresh, that the coffee's made with actual coffee, and I took a sip, and that bitterness, for that coffee-ish taste was just hit me at the wrong time, and I was just bound for failure.
Still is one of the great places in America, though, isn't it?
Hands down.
Yeah. All right, Pappys. So your pictures are plastered all over Pappys, one of the great barbecue joints of all time.
Tremendously great. Tremendously great.
They don't have an eating challenge there, do they?
No, but Mike Emerson and Skip Steele, first of all, as you said, are absolute barbecue geniuses, and Mike is one of the nicest guys around. And which isn't to say Skip isn't, but Mike Emerson actually created a dish called the Atom Bomb, and it's like a chili Frito pie with Red Hots, and I mean, he was the first guy to add something with like my name on it to a menu, which, as someone who's like an intrepid, like traveling foodie guy, like I tell people I'm a gastronaut, that it was such a big feather in my cap. And you forget, I used to live in Webster Groves. I used to live in St. Louis. So on any level, the fact that like this town that, I fell in love with T-Ravs and emos and going to Fitz's for root beer and going to the Loop and seeing Nelly at the pageant and stuff, that like this addition to St. Louis that bears my name is so cool.
When did you live in Webster Groves?
I did a play at the St. Louis Repertory Theater. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was '06, and I lived there for a while. And I actually met a girl that lived not too far off Brentwood, and we dated for a while after that. And so I went back quite a bit, and went to those awesome Asian markets on Olive, and visited her family in Creve Coeur, and saw the Christmas lights at Tillis Park. I mean, I love it. I still maintain that, when you're in Forest Park is one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and not just because of the jewel box, but the zoo and the museums, and, going to see movies at the Moolah. I just love it. Even the Anheuser-Busch tour, there's so much in that city that's Soulard Market that to fall in love with. It's an easy place to fall in love with.
Adam Richman, our guest, giving us a tour not only of food all across America, but St. Louis for us. His new book is Straight Up Tasty, bookstores everywhere. So when is Man vs. Food over with? Has that run its course?
Yeah. I shot the last episode of that almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a great show on many different levels, but I always felt bad. It seemed like those restaurants sort of made up their food challenges to be so ridiculous, no real human being could actually do it.
Generally speaking, almost every challenge I did on Man vs. Food was already in existence. There were only one or two times when I sort of did the inaugural attempt. But generally, it's a gimmick. It was a way to get people in the business and get their name out there and create a degree of folklore. But that's 100% right. I mean, now, the show that's on Travel Now is called Man Finds Food. And that's the one that's on Wednesdays at 9 Eastern now, and that's the one that's about hidden restaurants and off-the-menu dishes. And in my opinion, I think it's a far superior show to Man vs. Food because we get to show twice as many locations. Because Man vs. Food, it was like 2 locations, and then the other half of the show was a challenge.
Right.
Here, it's like 4 places in the city that are either hidden because the restaurant's hard to find or because there's a secret menu item, and it's the absolute coolest. And to be able to show more of a city and not have to be anchored to something that's really spicy or over 1.5 gallons of milkshake is awesome. And I brought my shows back to St. Louis before. I put the Crown Candy BLT on my Best Sandwich show. And I love doing that more than the challenges. I love being able to say, look, you got to go to Iron Barley because Tom Coghill is the coolest guy and his oak roasted pork loin, you can't miss it. Or go to Fitz's, in the Loop for a great burger and really great root beer. Like, I think there's just so many awesome things to try that people might otherwise overlook because, people know Ted Drew's and people may know, I don't know, perhaps some kind of, they want to go to Anheuser-Busch, but there is so much amazing food in St. Louis that I think it would be a shame to overlook it.
The man was born in Brooklyn, but he clearly has a love for St. Louis. The book is Straight Up Tasty, Adam Richman, bookstores everywhere, Amazon.com, and, of course, on TV. Anything else, Adam, we should pay attention to you doing these days?
Yeah, man, we just finished shooting Season 2 of Food Fighters on NBC, and it was a blast, so that's going to air in early July, and that's home cooks taking on pro chefs. And hopefully we'll get a chance to shoot some more Man Finds Food because I'd love to come back to St. Louis and shoot there.
Well, you're welcome here anytime. Straight Up Tasty is the cookbook from Adam Richman. Straight Up Tasty, bookstores, and, of course, online as well. Adam, thanks for checking in, and next time you're in St. Louis, you have to come by.
I'd be honored. Thank you so much.
You got it. Adam Richman here on the Big 550, KTRS. Did anybody else know that he lived in Webster Groves?
Stunned.
Yeah.
Dated a girl from Creve Coeur. He's talking about all the Asian markets in U City. I was like, whoa.
That guy knew more about St. Louis than half the audience.
No kidding.
Holy mackerel. All right.
He's not a true St. Louis, no, he wasn't here long enough, right?
Well, I've been here 17 years, so you need 3 more years to call yourself a St. Louisan. So I'm almost a St. Louisan. 9:21 here, Big 550.